Good morning, Dual Coast fans. How's everybody doing this morning? Very special guest with us today, Hunter Confair, with us from P3R in Pittsburgh. And always my colleague on the West Coast, Russ. Russ, how we doing over there?
We are wide awake. We are representing. Let me stand up. We are representing today. In Texas, it's how y'all doing? And when I walked in, I took you into the Steel City store, Dan.
Yes.
But before that, I was like, what does that say? And they're all how you've heard how y'all doing. This is how yin's doing. So I'm representing today, Hunter. This is amazing, right? So I'm sorry I'm not dressed in black like you guys to match, but I figured with all your onlookers there in Pittsburgh today, this is the way we represent on Dual Coast. So welcome, Hunter. We're so excited to have you.
Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I love the t-shirt, Russell. It's great.
Oh, man. So, hey, we go back over a year to a friend of mine, John, hooked me up to go onto the local TV station in Pittsburgh. And then I went to the hospital and some schools and everything. But when I was doing some research, I came across Kids of Steel. And I just cold called, emailed, and I ended up getting and connecting with Hunter. And I said, hey, I'm going to be in the Pittsburgh area. I would love to come and hear more about Kids of Steel. What's going on? Tell us about, So we ended up having a meeting, Amy, Marie, and Hunter, and it was amazing. Offices are incredible, right on the river. And so we got to connect. We got to see what Kids of Steel is all about. And then, of course, last May, just some months ago, Dan and I flew to Pittsburgh. We were a part of the kids marathon, and it was exciting. There was 10,000 kids, 7,000 adults running the 1 mile marathon, in which we were at the beginning and the end. Yep. So it was amazing to see, and Hunter's going to tell us all about this today. But before we dive into all of that, I want to hear from Hunter a little bit about his personal story and how this all came about in your life. How did your life, tell us the back story of how your life led you to Kids of Steel?
Yeah, no. I think it's funny. I was speaking at my alma mater just a couple months ago, and I think the theme talking to all those students where it was that working in sports is not linear whatsoever. You go up and down, side to side. It's not just a straight path to getting to your end goal, So I think going to Lock Haven, figuring out that I wanted to work in sports of some nature. I knew I wanted to work in event management. So I was taking all the right classes, connecting with my professors, figuring out how do I navigate this life to getting into sports, So choosing Lock Haven has been honestly the backbone of who I am and how I've gotten to certain places. I mean, we've had experiences left and right. I've worked a college national championship football. I've worked a Super Bowl in LA. I've worked the PGA championship. We have all of these cool things I've been able to put on my resume, get all this experience in the short 5 years that I was just at Lock Haven. So I just kind of give a lot of credit to those professors, all those connections that I made there, So got there, handled business, ran there as well. So I kind of had almost like 2 full-time jobs of being a student and an athlete, juggling that, which has taught me so much and helped me become who I am today. And so got through those 5 years, great years there. And then kind of story that I told you a little bit ago, Russell, that after I graduated, I had to figure out where I was going to go, what I was going to do for a full-time job, and ended up finding a really cool experience over in Indianapolis, working at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Got to work in the Pagoda, which is where all of the title sponsors are hanging out, making sure that they're having a good time, make sure they have everything that they need, getting to the right floor, taking care of basically all of their needs that they need during the Indianapolis 500, which is the biggest race of the year. Mm-hmm. So I get out there, and so I had to figure out how I'm going to get there, how I'm going to afford to juggle all these things. And it was PSAC championship, getting ready to graduate in a couple of days, did phenomenal. And then we were packing up my car, and everything in my little dorm room that's about probably as big as this room that I'm in now. It's not very big. and I have a queen size mattress, and I have a 2015 Toyota Camry. So envision this small little Toyota Camry trying to fit everything I have into this room. So we get all of my little small stuff, all the stuff that fit in my drawers. And then the last thing I had is this bed. I'm like, how am I going to get a queen size bed from central Pennsylvania, 8 hours to Indianapolis? So my mom's like, well, let's throw it in the back seat. Nobody's sitting back there. I was like, that's not going to fit. No way. No way. I was like, I was not a believer whatsoever. So luckily I have a memory foam. So we start to fold it in half, and then we're shoving it in. I mean, there's probably 4 of us, 2 on each end. One's yanking it, one's pushing it. And somehow after like 15, 20 minutes, the bed is in the back of the car. I was like, incredible. We like slammed the door shut, and I was like, nobody open the back seat until I leave. I leave, drive 8 hours, get to Indianapolis, park the car, look at my apartment, and then it hits me. How am I going to get a queen size bed out of my car with one person?
I was going to ask that question. But.
Yeah, I was like, there's no way. I was like, I bet everybody in this apartment complex is going to think I'm nuts. So here I am, little 5'8" guy, small, scrawny guy, trying to yank this bed out. So finally get it out of the car, up to the second story. It's probably one of the most memorable things I've ever done because it's just absurd. And then when I left, I had to put it back in my car by myself. And granted, I told you, it took 4 of us the first time. How I did it, I have no idea. Sometimes I just wish I would have kept it in Annapolis and donated it to somebody and just rebought it because it was such a nightmare. But it's funny getting to Annapolis, working there, great experience, met some amazing people. Unfortunately, they didn't have a full-time job for me at the time. And so I had to get another like part-time job with Alliance Marketing. Worked there for about 2 months and started to kind of run out of money a little bit. Figured out, I was like, I'm not going to be able to sign a longer lease. I was able to sign just a 3-month lease while I was out there. And I was like, wow, I have no idea what I'm going to do after this. Like, I told myself once I graduated college, I didn't want to move back home. No offense to home, love my parents, but there's just not enough there for me for sports. I live in a very small town. I mean, there's about 2 red lights between the beginning and the end of the town, so everybody knows everybody. So I needed something more. So one night, sitting on the job trying to figure out what I was going to do, and my buddy gives me a call and he says, hey, I got this job with Mile Split. It's remote. I can live wherever I want. I'm going to move to Pittsburgh with one of our other college friends that we ran with. You should move to Pittsburgh. And I said, that's great, but I don't have a job. I don't know what I'm doing. What do you want me to do? Well, he says, well, then you better start applying for jobs. And I said, yeah, let me just do that. So we hang up on him, and I applied to 7 jobs that night. The next morning, I got a call back, and they said, hey, we'd like to interview. Got the interview, got the job. Called my buddy back, and I said, you're in luck. I got a position. And it was funny, they had already signed a lease. Well, I also signed the lease without even actually being confirmed if I got the job yet. So I was like, you know what? I feel really confident about the interview. I feel confident that I'm going to get the job. And it worked out. I always say that everything happens for a reason. You do things like you're supposed to. I was supposed to sign that lease. I knew I was going to get that job. Luckily, I did. My mom was got a great support system at home. My mom was able to give me some money for a down payment, first month's rent until I could get my legs underneath me moving into the city. Worked there for a couple months until one of my roommates was applying for jobs as well. He wasn't sure if he wanted to be a teacher, and actually applied for the position I ended up getting. And he says, hey, I actually got a position at another school. I'm going to take that. You should apply for this. This seems right up your alley. It's like, yeah, sure. Give it a try. Apply, get the interview, and guess you could say knocked it out of the park. So went well, and I've just been here ever since. But it's just funny how everything played out. Getting to Indianapolis, working there, getting those connections, finding a job to get my feet in the door at Pittsburgh, finding P3R, being a coordinator here and then getting promoted to manager. It's been a crazy, only been like 4-year span. But it's led me to an amazing place. I love what I do. I get to impact thousands of kids, which is kind of something I didn't see myself doing. But I actually had a soccer coach in high school. He's only coached for 2 years, an amazing man. Unfortunately passed away with a brain tumor, but he was like another father figure for me. And I said, someday I want to have that same impact that he had on me in just a short amount of time. So once I started working with kids a little bit, I was like, yeah, I'm in the right place. I'm impacting these kids. It might not be with soccer, but I'm still impacting thousands and thousands of kids every day. So I'm exactly where I need to be, and I'm just loving it,
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Amazing,
That's
man. It's an
amazing.
amazing story.
Hey, I want to give a quick shout out to your watch party down the hall from you, and
Yeah.
to all of your staff that's listening here this morning. Shout out to P3R staff for taking this in, supporting Hunter as he is sucking down his coffee this morning. And you're rocking it, man. This is awesome. Great start to the start to the morning.
Perfect. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. Best part about working here, we just have a great support system, everybody here has your back and is willing to help you and make sure that you've got what you need to be successful. So yeah, great team here at P3R.
Don't forget to shout out Hunter's mom, who's dropping the comments right now. Shout out Hunter's mom, Krista.
What is she saying? What's Hunter's mom saying?
Don't forget his mama's watching.
Okay. Oh, that's awesome.
Shout out. Hunter, tell us a little bit about what you do now. Tell us a little about the mission behind P3R and how you guys have expanded impact throughout Pittsburgh. Tell us a little bit about what you guys do.
Yeah, so our mission is really to inspire any and all to move with us. It used to be to get them to run with us, but we've expanded well beyond just the running platform. So we invite everyone to just move alongside with us, whether that is a running event. We have a cycling event. We do clinics for kids. So we started basketball, lacrosse, flag football even. I mean, flag football is growing rapidly. So we make sure we are trying our best to teach these kids what other options are out there. Because obviously we know running isn't the only sport out there.
Yep.
So we're trying our best to expand throughout the region. We've looked at possibilities of pickleball. I mean, obviously that's a wildly growing sport. So that could be a future possibility. But for the moment, we've got a lot of options for not only for kids, but for our adult participants as well. So always growing, always looking to put those, give those participants the best experience that they can and open their horizon to just about any sport that they could imagine, really.
Gotcha. That's great, man. That's amazing. I didn't realize you guys were so vast, honestly, in the sports world, like different sports and everything. I thought it was mainly focused on running, but I didn't realize.
Yeah, no, we have all kinds of stuff. It's honestly since I've started, to be honest with you, in the last 3 years, we've really expanded to these sports. I know we've also been the event management company of the senior games, if you've ever heard of that.
Yeah.
So we brought in thousands and thousands of participants to Pittsburgh and put on cycling, track, tennis, pickleball. I mean, you name it, they had it, and we were able to put it on with the help of them, obviously. But yeah, we are not just a running company out here. We put on a bunch of events that I think a lot of people don't really realize just yet, but we're always growing. And yeah.
That's great.
Hunter, I've seen the impact firsthand, and I actually got to live through Marie's driving, which you warned me about. But I was in Pittsburgh last January. It was the coldest week of the year that I was there. It hit -7 on the the wind chill factor. But we went out to a school about 45 minutes outside of town with Amanda as the athletic director. And I saw firsthand the impact as hundreds of kids kept coming into the gymnasium, sitting on the floor, going and hyping kids up about the marathon, getting involved in P3R, getting involved Kids of Steel. It's just like, the excitement, the enthusiasm of what you guys are doing. It doesn't come without challenge. And so why don't you identify, share with us, and maybe there's multiple, what are some of the biggest challenges in putting this all together?
Yeah, it's a great question. It's funny. Every month we do a DEI discussion within our youth department, and so each month somebody finds a topic to talk about. And Marie actually just did one here last week, and it's all about barriers. And that's our biggest challenge of how do we get people to buy into what we're doing? How do we
Yeah.
get new sites every year? How do we get more kids every year? So it's always a challenge on having to navigate that. So there's a cost. So we try our best to give all of our sites free codes. If they need extra, we're always happy to give extra. We do grants every year. So if you need new equipment or transportation, extra site codes, we are so lucky to be able to give out thousands of dollars every year to hopefully break those barriers. We have sites that come from 2+ hours to come to the kids marathon. That's a challenge. I mean, how are you going to get there? Who's going to take them? Are you going to stay in a hotel? These are all barriers that these sites are facing. So same thing, we give grants for those transportations. We have a site over in Kane, which is pretty close to the New York border, about 2.5 hours away. And they actually come out and they stay for the entire weekend. They make it a weekend trip for them. So they get a hotel and they'll go to the Pirates game the same weekend. But not everybody is that lucky. They have to come out in a bus and go back that same day because they can't stay for an entire weekend. So we try and cut those costs as much as we can through these grants that I'm talking about. But another barrier is we have so many sites in Pennsylvania. We're sitting at a total of 311 sites. Majority of them have come from the Pittsburgh area, surrounding areas, and it's easy to get PA sites at this point. Like everybody's talking about Kids of Steel. You've heard of it in some fashion, or if you've done the kids marathon by yourself, you see all these huge site signs with Charleroi, Kane, South Fayette, and you're like, oh, like what is this? Why are all these schools running together? Like, why isn't my school running here? So then you fill out an interest form, and you're like, hey, saw all this. What's the deal? How do I join this? So word of mouth is huge in Pennsylvania. So we'll get plenty of sites that way. It's the out of state sites that we really have to grind and cold call people, cold emails, and say, hey, we've got an amazing program. You should join us. And I mean, if you have no idea of what Kids of Steel is or never been to Pittsburgh, you're thinking, well, why should I sign up for this? Like, what benefit has this for us? So it's a challenge of how do we convince these people? How do we tell them, hey, you got to buy into this because it's a free program. It's one of the largest youth programs, if not the largest youth program that is free. So we don't ask for a single dollar from you. The only thing we say is if you want to do the optional kids marathon or one of our events, then yeah, it costs a little bit of money, but we have ways to combat that. So if we wanted to get a site from, say, California all the way out for you, Russell, I mean, we have ways to get around that. Obviously, we might not ask you to come to the kids marathon, but we can send you like a care package that has finish line tape, cowbells, towels, ways to make it feel like a kids marathon all the way out in California, and you can take pictures and we can post it and share that. Even though we have sites all the way in California, we can still make it work. I think it's next week, I believe, we have a site out in South Africa as of about a year ago.
Wow.
And we sent them a care package. Took a long time to get there through customs and everything. I think Maria had to send it about 4 or 5 times, but we got it. They got it, so that's great. But they're putting on their own race, and we've helped them create a logo for their medals, for their T-shirts, help them put this race on, even though we're thousands and thousands of miles away, So yeah, there's barriers, but we are really good about combating those and breaking those barriers down and finding a way to make it work no matter where you're at. I mean, we're super flexible in what we do. We give you all the resources. We give you a full curriculum that has our character building words, 30 practice ideas, games throughout the wazoo. We have the resources for you. It's essentially what it comes down to is finding somebody that's willing to put this on, who's willing to be the coach for that site, that puts a little extra time into their day and does that. So we found that most of our sites are schools, but we have schools, community groups, Girl Scout troops have been joining, cross country track teams. So wide variety of sites and where they come from. So you just have to find somebody that's willing to put in an extra hour for a practice or half an hour, a little extra time putting things together to send to those kids and those parents to say, hey, we've got practices, we've got meets, and we've got all these races that we should be doing. So finding those people and convincing them that this is worth it and what we do has a lasting impact, can be a barrier for sure, a challenge.
Mhm.
But like I said, we are learning how to break those barriers down and continuously learning and growing. And we've got sites from Ohio, West Virginia, Maryland, because it's South Africa. So we're getting there. It's just
Yeah.
slowly but surely convincing those people that this is a doable program, no matter where you're at.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Incredible.
Well, I know the impact is real, right, Dan?
Yeah,
I
for
mean,
sure.
the morning that we were in Pittsburgh and just seeing thousands of kids, come to the starting line with not just by themselves, because we're talking little kids, families. And we
Family.
went around and interviewed, a lot of these families that morning at the finish line as well at our booth. It was such an amazing event, and the organization is top notch.
Yeah.
Amazing job, amazing job.
Yeah, absolutely incredible, honestly. And the turnout there, I mean, I've never experienced an event like that, like Kids of Steel, and me and Russ were there this year. And just to see those families together trying to preach health and take initiative and show their kids about health, it's something that I've actually never experienced. And I told Russ that probably about 20 times that morning, honestly. I said, look at all these families together. And that actually brings me to my next point. So P3R runs events like Kids of Steel. So Hunter, what would you say the impact is that you've seen these initiatives take on families, schools, and overall health in the Pittsburgh community?
Yeah, great question. It's crazy. It's almost surreal, the impact that just alone I see. I get the privilege. I don't know if it's a privilege. It's always chaos, but I get to work the finish line for the kids marathon, and it is the craziest 2-3 hours of my entire life. I'm just thousands of people crossing the finish line, making sure families are being reunited. But it's so amazing to see the impact that it's a 1 mile race, but you would think they've just run a full marathon, like the way they've crossed that finish line, and mom and dad are hugging their kid and parents are crying, and they've done it. Like they've Kids Marathon, the Kids of Steel, our program is based on trying to get 25 training miles, which so every 15 minutes equals a mile. And so you do these 25 miles, and then you do your last mile at the Kids Marathon to essentially do a full marathon with Kids of Steel. So you see all the work that they've put in, all the miles and the training that they've done to cross this finish line, And it's just surreal to see them all cross as a family. And then as of recent, you see those parents say, wow, like my kid can do this. I can do this. So then the parents are doing a 5K, or they're doing another 1 mile race somewhere else. And then they come back and they do the half or a full. Like it just takes their kid to say, wow, my kid's out here running and doing this. Like, why can't I? And so you see it. You see it with our registration numbers always increasing, the 5K, the half, the relay, whatever it is, those parents want to be a part of the entire weekend, just like their kid is. So we see the impact there. And then in the school, you see the impact of, we always ask them, who here likes to run? You might get 10, 15 kids that say, oh yeah, I like to run. But a majority of those kids are like, no, running, I don't want to do that. Are you kidding me? That doesn't sound like fun. Like, sign me up for something fun, And so then we explain to them, like, it's okay if you don't like to run, because you know what? We're not going to do a lot of running. Well, small lie. We do run, but we run through games. We have We have 30, 40, 50 games in our curriculum. And so one of my favorites, the pizza game. You're running around trying to knock each other's pizza off their hand. Like you're doing so much running in 10, 15 minutes of playing that game, and they don't even realize. All they think is, okay, I'm trying to hit my friend's pizza off their hand. I'm not realizing, oh, I'm running for 15 minutes straight, you know? So seeing that impact, they're getting so much healthier and they don't even know it. They like we're almost just convincing them, hey, you're not running, but you are. You're doing it through a game and you're having so much fun. And then they do this mile, and then they get a couple years older. And I have been seeing a lot of kids, steel kids, they're doing the 5K, and they're coming back and they do the 5K, and now they're doing other events throughout the year that doesn't have like a kids steel component to it, but they're still doing another 5K or the 10K, and they're getting older and they're doing our EQT 10 miler. So you see it from the very first year that they do it until the year that they leave, and then they'll join Run Varsity, which is our middle school age program, and then they go on to do, like I said, the half and the full. It's funny, we just had an intern here this past semester, and he remembers doing the kids marathon, and he's like 21 at this point. Like he did so many years
So
ago,
cool.
but it's a memory that they will just never forget. It's something that they'll have pictures and stories to tell when they get older, that their parents can tell, that then they can tell their kids, that hopefully that they'll bring their kids through it. So it just brings thousands, I mean, 10,000 people together, an extra 7,000 parents. To think that we are in the like top 50 of largest races as a kid race. And it
Yeah.
just continues to grow our other events, especially during that weekend. So yeah, the impact is just everlasting, and it goes on forever and brings joy to something that they never thought they would enjoy. You know, all those kids that say, "Oh, I never wanted to run. I don't want to run. That's not fun. That's a punishment in a lot of other sports." You know, you do something wrong, all right, go do a lap.
Or do a
It's a
lap.
punishment. That is what they have been engraved. And I mean, I was the same way. I was like, "Ah, I don't want to run," but mom was like, "You're gonna do track. You've done soccer your entire life. You'd be good at track." And I was like, "All right, sure, why not? We'll give it a try." Even though running isn't fun, but you just learn to love it, and through games and everything that we have to offer, it just shows that impact is huge, because these people are continuously running after Kids of Steel.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Man. Incredible.
Yeah. We were there that morning in May. Dan and I got to the starting line about, I don't know, maybe 30 minutes early. And there was a lot of people around. There's a large parking lot right there next to the starting line, and it's on a street on the backside of PNC Park. And we were there, and then all of a sudden, like this infiltration
Yeah.
of kids and parents. And then pretty soon, like this parking lot, which is huge, is like full of
Yeah.
thousands of people, kids and parents, families. And then all of a sudden, the first wave takes off, right? And it kind of empties out, even though, the B group is waiting in the wings to start. And then all of a sudden, the parking lot that emptied out is now full again. And I forget how many, different stages of people, that went through there, but it had to be at least, I don't know, 15, and it was just, it was amazing. Dan and I were blown away. Dan walked the path, to it, catching video, going over the bridge. I went the other way on the bridge to get back to the event. But, there might be people listening here today, Hunter, that in their community, they might be interested in starting their own, P3R Kids of Steel program in their community. Can you give some, some steps along the way of how they can begin?
Yeah, for sure. To be honest with you, it's easy. It's super easy. Like if you have all of the pieces, it's easy. Like I said earlier, the hardest part is finding somebody that is willing to be that coach per se, you
Yeah.
know? So easiest way is always to go to kidsteel.org, go to our website. We have an interest form on there. Fill it out, first, last name, email. If you want to add a comment or a question, you can do so. So if you want to say, hey, I was listening to the podcast this morning. I really interested. I want to join. Can you give me more information? We have a whole PowerPoint, our getting started PowerPoint that outlines what is Kids of Steel, what we do, what we give to our sites, and we give you a bunch of perks I've mentioned earlier, with the grants and the curriculum and the resources. So we have all that ready for you. If you want to do the race, you can come out. We'll figure it out how to make it work. We can also send stuff to you to put on a race, but fill up an interest form. Obviously, you could email me, Maria, anybody on the youth team, and we can get you started. But once you read through that PowerPoint, if you think this is exactly what I want, I got somebody that's willing to take it on, you would fill out our sign up sheet, which is on the end of that PowerPoint, and we would start the process, which is super easy. We would just make sure we send you a welcome email with everything you need, the curriculum. We have a Google Drive that has so many things for you to, if you're a first time coach, because I'd say at least 85% of our coaches are first time coaches. They've never coached before in their entire life. So we give those resources of, here's some tips. Here are the strategy you might need, maybe a philosophy or a mission for yourself to be a coach. So we have those resources for you. So if you're first time coach, don't be discouraged. Like I said, most of us are first time coaches. So you got to start somewhere, and this is a great place to start if you want to if you have that interest in becoming a coach. So we give you everything you need, and we're always super open. We do trainings via Zoom. This year, we're actually starting first time coaches, a Zoom meeting for our new coaches 3 times throughout this year, leading up to the kids marathon, just to answer any questions. Because I think that first year is the hardest year, trying to navigate, okay, how am I going to do the practices? How am I going to get kids to sign up for this program? How am I going to get the kids to the kids marathon? Like, there's so many questions, so many unknowns because you haven't dealt with it yet. So we want to give as many resources as those coaches and opportunities to learn, to ask questions to us outside of just an email of a question, putting us all in a Zoom meeting for other coaches to ask other questions and say, hey, how do you guys do this? You've got 500 kids. How do you get these kids to come out? So we always give plenty of opportunities for those coaches to ask questions, to learn. So you're never by yourself. It's not a scary process. Like I said, it's easy. We walk you through it step by step, and you're not going to be left on the dust trying to figure it out on your own.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's awesome.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome.
Great support.
Yeah, it's incredible. Incredible. Hunter, so I'm big into like the motivational aspect and the mindset of this pretty much. So, trying to motivate these kids to run and do things and get active. What would you say to somebody that is they think a marathon's out of their reach, or they think running is out of their reach, or they don't want to run? What would you say to somebody to motivate them to take those first steps?
That's a great question.
Send them Marie.
Yeah. Running can be tough. Like I have run ever since basically middle school. I am a runner. I've run in college. I started doing 10 milers. I've done 2 half marathons. I've yet to do a full myself. I plan to at some point, but it's scary for sure. I won't sit here and say, oh, it's super easy. All you have to do is get off the couch and run 26 miles. He's like, hey, anybody can do it. It's tough. It is a hard, grueling fight. And so I work the back half for marathon weekend. And so I get the opportunity to leave there once that race has started, go over to our warehouse, help unload our truck. And that's about right around 2 miles to go. And you can see the pain on everybody's face. And like, 2 more miles. You can do this. You can get through this. I think you just have to buy in to the process. It's going to be hard. It's not going to be easy, obviously. You got to put in some time, but the reward is like something you'll never get in your entire life, I think, in my opinion. You're not going to get a physical, I mean, you're going to get a medal, you're going to get a t-shirt, but this reward of, I just ran 26 miles is just a self-accomplishment, a reward that is just unmatched. It's something I want to do as well. And there's thousands of people that think you'll never be able to do it, but you can. It's as easy as opening the door and getting outside. That's the hardest part, in my opinion. And I tell a lot of people that I help train and talk to, the hardest part is opening the front door and taking the first step. Once you've done that, the rest is easy. You're out there, put in your headphones, you're listening to a jam, you're bumping, you're like, oh, this is good. Yeah, a good song. And before you know it, you've run 10, 12, 15 miles. Your long run comes and it's 20 miles, and you're like, easy. I've been doing this for months. And it just starts to get easier and easier once you continue to put that work in, continue to get out the front door. It's just all about making sure you're internally motivating yourself to say, I want to do this because I know I can do this. And once they've put in the time and the effort and you get to that start line, all of the miles that you've just put in, it's all for this. And then you finish, and I mean, the amount of people you see just break down on that finish line, it's because those people thought, I'll never be able to do this. This is something it's impossible. But then they realize once they've crossed that finish line, I've just put in months of training for one day, and I did it. Like, anybody can do it. It doesn't matter if you're the fastest runner, the slowest runner, somebody in between. That means nothing. It means nothing, especially like to us. We just want you to move. So we, as much as we care about the first person that finishes, we also care about the person that finishes last. They'll get the same amount, like the same treatment for us. It's just all about making sure that you've finished, you've accomplished something that many people haven't. Well, the 1% of people have completed a marathon. You're in that 1% now. Like, that is something that you can tell people. I mean, when I do, I'm going to tell people that all the time. I'm like, I'm a 1%er, you know? So I think it's just telling people that you can do it, get out of the front door, take the first step, and you'll never look back.
Yeah.
Amazing.
That's
man.
amazing.
Amazing.
You know, movement is a huge part of what I do, right? And what I promote and connecting families. What does the word movement mean to you, Hunter?
I think it means a lot, to be honest with you. I think it means just getting up and doing something. It's putting your phone away for 30 minutes, an hour, and getting out and getting the fresh air and moving the legs, even if it's a short walk. I know me and my girlfriend will be sitting watching TV for a couple hours, and we'll say, let's just go for a walk. Let's just, even if it's just for 20 minutes. I think moving is just so incredible. You get out, you get to see the nature, fresh air, you get to spend quality time with somebody. Whether it's you're walking with somebody or on the phone walking, like with the earbuds, and getting to talk and connect with somebody because you've got no distractions. It's just you and the pavement, you're walking, you're running, you're playing a game, whatever it might be. I think movement is something that everybody needs to do every day, at least once. One of the best parts about working here is, like, as long as I'm getting my work done, I can go out and get my run in, and I can take a break throughout my day and say, I just need to clear my head. Been looking at the screen all day. Let's go for a quick 4 or 6 mile run to just reset for the day. I think you just need it. You need to just mentally reset away from a cell phone or from your laptop, and just clear the head of your thoughts. Or sometimes I have my best thoughts when I've gone outside and reset for the day. Something just jars, and I'm like, oh, I didn't think of that. So I hope I come back and I'm working twice as hard because I've got all these ideas flowing. I mean, it's great for the blood flow. So yeah, if I had to tell anybody, you just got to keep moving every day, at least once a day. Get out there for a 5-10 minute walk. Get out there, move the legs, move the body. You're gonna feel so much better every day, just because of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well said, man.
Totally agree. Totally agree. Hunter, we're probably going to close out with this question, but it's a question that we like to ask everybody and every guest that we have on. And we usually close out the show with this statement, but the statement that we use is wellness is not about perfection. It's about progress. So we like to ask the guests usually what that means to them. What would that statement mean to you?
Yeah, I think I sort of answered it with my motivation, but I think you just have to continue to go out there every day and do a little bit. It's progress. Running a marathon, running a 1 mile race is all about progress. It's about going out that first day and maybe you only run 2 minutes, but you've ran 2 minutes. You come back and the next day, you run 4 minutes. Okay, you've run 4 minutes now. Come back, and before you know it, you've progressed to running a whole mile straight.
Yeah.
And then you come back and you now run a 5K without having to stop. So I think being wellness isn't about going out and running 20 plus miles a day and running marathons and half marathons. It's about just getting out there a little bit each day and progressing and getting more and more to hopefully that you can do one of these longer races. Or if you don't want to run a full or a half, you go out and you find a 5K. You find all these 1 mile races. We have so many races. I think we have like 16 different events that we put on throughout the year. There's something out there for you if you want to do a race. But your wellness will not start if you don't start the progress. If you don't go out and run once, you run once, you come back, then you run a second day, and you run a third day. So making sure your wellness is a priority. You just, like I said, you have to open the front door, walk outside, and start the progress.
Amazing.
Love it, man.
Amazing,
Great
man.
job, man. Well, I hope everybody down the hall showers you with love after this podcast because you killed it.
You did.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you guys having me on and being able to talk about what we do. Like I love this place and I love what we do. We have a huge impact. And anybody that's watching, if you want to start a Kids Steel site, you want to learn more, please reach out. I mean, we are always looking to grow, make new sites, especially out of state, to show our mission and impact even more kids. I mean, on a daily basis or on a year to year, we impact about 25 to 30,000 kids a year, and we'd love to see that number continuously grow every year. Just outside, even outside of Pennsylvania, outside of Pittsburgh, we want to show the mission of moving the wellness of the kids that we impact and making sure that they have a long, active lifestyle well after Kids of Steel.
Sure. Absolutely.
That's awesome.
Hunter, where can everybody find you guys? What's the best place for social media and website and everything?
Yeah, social media, we've got Instagram, X, YouTube, all at Kids of Steel. Our website's kidsofsteel.org. Check us out. We've got an amazing assortment of videos. We have a lot of Kids of Steel, stories of steel that shows impacts of our coaches, the kids. We've got so many cool videos that show just what we do outside of what I just told you. So check those out. Give us a follow. Give us some likes. I know our social media team would love that. So make sure you check those out and really dive into what we do and the impact that we have on not only kids, but adults as well.
Awesome. Awesome.
That's great.
Hunter, thank you so much for being with us today. Really appreciate you coming on. Everybody, thank you so much for listening. Hunter's Watch Party, thank you so much for listening. Jumping in the comments. Really appreciate that, guys. Check us out on Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts. Listen to Dual Coast on YouTube. Check us out on all social medias at Dual Coast Podcast. Everybody, thank you so much for listening. Hunter, thank you again for being with us.
Appreciate it, man. Thanks so much.
You guys take care.
You too.